This right here was the tablet that I used throughout 2016 to, I guess, really mid to, yeah, mid-ish 2018. Um, this was the tablet that I used, and there were a couple periods of my life in which I pulled it out again, but I have so many memories on this. It never really worked very well. There's like problems with the internal memory. Like if you install too many things and you uninstall them, they're still technically on the memory. It runs really slow, and at times it can crash a lot. This is just a Kindle Fire, but I remember at the time I had hacked it to make it work with Android apps because the hardware is basically just Android, but it doesn't run with the software unless you do a workaround. So I had to do a workaround to get Android apps to work. I got the Android version of YouTube, and then I put a number of other things on there. And I tried to go on VCs using Discord using this, and of course it was really slow, and I didn't always sound the best, but there's so many memories contained on this, like going into the chromasticators and messaging people late at night when I was in my dad's house. It was my cousin's trailer, my grandpa's house if you really want to go back, but he was deceased at the time we were living there. Being there in early-ish 2018, late 2017, around that time, it really jumped around a lot because my mom and my dad kept separating, and so I would go live with him at various points throughout the years. And going on this tablet when I didn't have my computer properly set up, or when I was doing something that I didn't want people to see because I was living in a living room, this tablet was really special because even though it's just a random ass piece of hardware, I remember those conversations I had on this and how important they were to me at the time. I remember when I first found Hiding in My Room's channel, one of my favorite channels on YouTube. I found it on this, and I quickly marathoned as many of his videos as I could possibly see. I thought his style of humor was hilarious, the way that he kind of exaggerated his real life, and the way that oftentimes the clickbait titles he used didn't even represent what was in the video, and sort of seeing this really stark and raw image of a person, just the normal standard vlog format that you used to see 12 years ago on YouTube be popular. The fact that I saw that about a guy who was living basically my dream life, to be able to be unemployed in another country and just live there and spend your time doing whatever you wanted, that was really amazing for me to watch. To see videos of him collapsing at a grocery store and getting the sense that he did not film that on purpose, just from the contents of the actual video. Going through his live streams and just watching this 8-hour videos of him, in 2017, of him just talking to the chat, being really nervous. He was so much more nervous back then in those videos. The types of things he would talk about, were so open to him talking about his anxiety and, being kind of humble. So you got the sense that this was just a really sad, introverted, anxious guy sharing what his life and experience was. You get the videos like the Why I Hate Japan video, where he ends up spending half the video talking about bacon or whatever, and it's hilarious. But those videos, I first found them on this tablet, and there's so many memories of being absolutely infatuated with his YouTube channel when I found them at that time, because when you're younger, everything to you seems amazing. when you're discovering all these new things, and YouTube was still a pretty new medium at the time, everything feels like it's a brand spanking new, bright experience that's meant to be exciting. And at the time when I was using this, by the tail end of using this, I was starting to reach the end of that. I was starting to reach the period of my life where the new things weren't so exciting, or there weren't as many new things to discover. And now I'm at the period where if I find something new, I'm interested in it, but that spark, that feeling that like everything that you're taking in is just absolutely beautiful and it's so cool that it exists. I haven't gotten that in a while, and I found some pretty neat things. I think the last time I felt that way was when I found No Thank You's YouTube channel, and now his videos don't really have the spark that they used to have. And probably that's because I've changed as well as he's changed, and so you can't really get the emotions that you associate with a specific time that you consumed something, but you can at least sort of look into it. You can take, little things like this and say, hey, I remember that. Like when I look at my laptop, I don't even associate my laptop with all of the other times I've used it anymore. I kind of do in a vague sense, but I really associate my laptop with watching No Thank You videos, because I would just lay in my bed in the dark when I was really bored and didn't have much going on, and I would watch his videos and I felt less alone. And I was really fascinated with the stuff that he said, and the aesthetic of them, the way that they were structured was so special. I hadn't found anything like that in so long that it was the first time that I was that excited about something. And like when I found Bald and Bankrupt, it wasn't as much of like an overt excitement, but it was there. It was another sense that, this is something. It wasn't nearly as special as like HMR or No Thank You, but it was there. I kind of felt the same thing when I found Eggy, but when you look at like an item like this and you sort of associate it with those experiences and you use it again, it's almost like the remnants of those emotions are still there. Like you're still getting them, you're still picking up on the remnants of them, but in a different way. And I don't know, do you guys have things that are physically representing an older time that like when you use them you're kind of calling back to that time, but in a digital sense? I don't know. When I looked at this, I intentionally wanted to take it out from under the bed and clean it off and stuff, because I was going back through my old videos and I was watching some of the videos from January of 2018 and a little bit onward after that, a little bit before that, and I remembered distinctly that this was the hardware I was using. And there was something about that that made me feel like I should pick it up and use it again. It's that feeling. It's a feeling I don't totally know how to describe, but it's like back then it totally encompassed you. And it wasn't nostalgia, because I sort of had the self-conscious feeling that what I was experiencing, the excitement for those new friends, or the experience of having friends, the excitement for the videos I was making, the excitement for the videos I was finding on YouTube, or just like anime I had watched, I knew those favorites, or rather the reverence for them that I experienced at the time, was a temporal thing. It wasn't going to be there forever. Like when I would lay on the couch, or open the couch up into a bed in my dad's house at the time, the trailer, because I was living in a living room, again, for context, and I would turn on the little bitty CRT, a CRT, smaller than that, it's one of the curvy ones, smaller than that, and I would turn on the Xbox, I would turn on the Xbox 360, and I would put on the YouTube app, and I'd just lay there, and I would watch, like, the Comfy Cast on Corrupting Your Kids, of Digi and May, just talking together, and that was really comfy. Like, I don't know, just thinking about that era, and the media that was coming out, it put me in a really special place in time. Um, and I was a completely different person back then too. I had so much more optimism and excitement for the stuff that was going on. Even though like my life was like objectively terrible at the time, um, there was something to it. And it's not me not remembering the bad parts, because at the time I remember what I was thinking. I openly acknowledged the bad parts. But I also had this sort of self-aware, self-conscious thought that this is all going to go away. You know? This excitement and this love that I feel, this really intense feeling for this media, it's gonna exit. It's not always gonna be there. Um, and that was something I had to grapple with at the time, because I liked the happiness. I liked how special the feeling was. And I think maybe this is why so many people use drugs, is that they want to be able to induce a special feeling of excitement with media that they're consuming any time that they want to. They don't have to have specific preconditions that are assigned at random, the way that me finding a channel that I really identify with or really like that appeals to me would. No, you just look at stuff that you're already interested in, but now you're more excited about it because you're gassed up or whatever. I think I should use more drugs.